Today's topic, we're going to talk about leading leaders versus leading followers. There's a very big difference when you're trying to lead a team, whether it's a sales team, an office, employees, team members, coworkers, whatever. At the end of the day, as a leader, you always want to have the mindset of how do I lead leaders versus leading followers. And today we're going to talk about the difference between that. Now, my name is Michael Barayev. I was able to build a team of 150 plus sales guys in less than 2.5 years. We did that with zero money invested. And my goal today is to teach you how to think like a leader leading leaders versus a leader leading followers. Okay. Now, why would you want to lead leaders versus leading followers in the first place, right? So let's kind of talk about that. Number one, spreading the risk. Okay. When it comes to leading leaders, all right, when you're leading leaders, you're taking all that risk and all that headache and you're spreading it around a few people. So for example, let's say you have, I'm just going to make an L here, okay? You have an L and you have 2 leaders, okay? I don't know if you can see it, but if you have 2 leaders, okay? And let's say they have, I don't know, 3 followers each. This is a bad marker. Let me just use another one, right? They have 3 followers, right? And the same thing goes here. Now, you have 6 followers, you got 2 leaders and a leader by yourself. You're the leader yourself, right? Now, is it easier for you to lead these 2 leaders to help you with these 6 people? Or, right? Or is it easier, right? Is it easier to what? To have a bunch of followers. I mean, if you have a bunch of followers, you're doing all of the work by yourself. It's just harder. You're going to end up doing way more work. So why not have a team like this, right? Where you can have them, focus on the team and help you spread that risk, right? You're spreading that energy, you're spreading that risk. And a lot of times we have this mindset of, I just want to lead a bunch of freaking people that's going to follow me. That's not the right mindset. You want to be able to develop people into leadership mode as soon as possible. Once they demonstrate leadership, that's when you want to give them the reins to kind of hold on. Now remember, leadership is not given. Write this down for yourself. You're taking notes. Leadership is not given. Leadership is taken. What do I mean by that? When you have people in your team that want to become leaders, you're not gonna just give them, the titles, or you're not gonna give them leadership. You're not gonna give them that power. They're gonna just take it themselves. And how do they take it? With action. They show up to the office early. They show up to the meetings early. They show up and want to do more work. They're always asking, what can I do for you? How can I add value? How can I serve you? What can I do? What can I do? And they're going to just take it. When they see a gap in some area of your business, they're going to just take ownership of that. They're not going to ask for permission. Leaders don't ask for permission. They just act. They create action. And that's what you're going to start seeing. So in your environment, in your culture, you want to make sure you're leading leaders, not followers, because I'm telling you, it's going to get very heavy. And the maximum amount of people you can directly kind of work with is probably 5 or 6 people. Anything more than that is chaotic. It's very difficult. But if you have a bunch of leaders, right? You have a bunch of leaders in your team, it's much easier to work through them and with them to manage that team, right? To manage that office, to manage that department or whatever it may be. That's how I was able to have 150 guys, because I didn't have 150 people reporting directly to me. It was insane if that would be the case, right? It would be crazy. But I did have about 30 leaders, and out of those 30 leaders, about 5 to 10 of them directly reported with me, and I developed those leaders, and I developed the other leaders, and I was helping, and I was doing, leadership meetings, and I was trying to get everyone to think like a leader, right? So everything you do in your business, everything you do in your department, whether it's marketing department, I don't care if it's finance department, always have people think like leaders. Because leadership is needed in every department, not just in sales. Everybody has to step up and start taking ownership and leadership. And when you do that, you spread the risk. Number 2, it becomes more fun. Like, it's just so much more fun to do business with leaders than to do business with a bunch of followers that are just sitting there and waiting for you to tell them what to do. I don't want to be the guy that bosses people around. It's just not fun. It's draining. I got to think about them every single day, every single minute, every single hour. Like, I want people to just create action and I can have fun with them. Because when 2 leaders are running together, it's so much more fun than 1 leader with like 5 followers. I'm not saying being a follower is a bad thing. No. What I'm saying is that it's okay to be a follower, but eventually I want them to start thinking about being a leader. Now, some people are not going to be able to be the leader because their leadership skills has to grow, right? But that's okay. But I'm looking for champions that are, let's say, for a 5 or a 6, and I can make them a 7 or 8. I'm not looking for 1s and 2s to make them a 7 and 8. That's not going to happen. Okay? Next, it's more challenging. Okay? It's more challenging to have followers than leaders. You may think, oh my God, all this time and effort, I got to invest in this leadership material and leading and talking and having conversations. I'm not a psychologist. I don't want to babysit. Those are old nonsense things to say. It's much more challenging to have a bunch of followers than it is to have a bunch of leaders. It's easier because in the beginning, right? Short term, right? In the beginning, you're going to put a lot of time and a lot of energy into the leadership, right? Or you're going to put a lot of time and a lot of energy into the follower. Which one's going to give you a bigger return? The leaders. So yes, it's going to be difficult on both ends, but long term, it'll be much more easier to build leaders than to build followers. It's much more challenging to have a bunch of followers because you're never going to be able to X yourself out. You're never going to be able to do what you need to do because you're always having to be that leader for them. And remember, followers always need a leader. Leaders don't need leadership. Leaders just need to be led by the right leader, but they need less effort. They need less time in the later stages. They just need a vehicle and a platform to win. So it'll be much easier for you in the later term because it's much more effective for you, for your ROI, to invest into leaders versus followers. Okay? Now don't forget, it's a long-term mindset versus a short-term mindset, right? Do you want to have a long-term business or a short-term business? If you want to have a short-term business, just hire a bunch of people that can never be leaders. I've made this mistake before. And I thought I was doing the right thing because I wanted fast growth. But fast growth is not always the right growth. Sometimes it's better to clip a few people that are not meant for the culture because they're not going to be a leader in the first place. I don't need their sales. I don't need their money. I don't need their job. Like if I'm hiring for a specific job, I always want to make sure, does this person have capabilities to become a leader? Now, they may not want that leadership. That's fine. That's okay. But I'm looking for people that can eventually become leaders because I'm looking to build a business. I'm looking to build a huge, massive team, and I can't do it by myself. I need people like you. I need people like leaders that want to help me grow in that vision, right? And the last thing is you buy back your time. If you have a business or if you're a manager and you have to put all this time and effort into your business on a day in and day out basis because you don't have enough leaders. Leadership is everything. Everything rises and falls on leadership. This is what I learned from John Maxwell, who's a leadership guru. Everything rises and falls on leadership. And the question is, can you buy back your time if you lead a bunch of followers? You can't. You need leadership. You need leadership. You need leaders. You need people that can go with you and build something great. And in order to do that, you need to start thinking about leading leaders versus leading followers. So I appreciate you guys. Once again, thank you so much for showing me love. If you can do me a favor, drop a comment, drop a like, share this with a friend. It can help the algorithm, and YouTube guys will start blessing us and giving us more views and stuff like that. So we can have people start subscribing. So I appreciate you. So don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in a nice video.